Hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving and a happy Black Friday. We got some more NFL football coming today, but Breece Hall put out some powerful words on Thanksgiving. We'll share those and some new information on the Jets changing their stance on a Breece Hall contract extension. All that and more comes up next year on Boy Green Daily.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts. Again, I'll reiterate the message. Hopefully you guys all had a happy Thanksgiving. And if you still are around family, enjoy that as well. I am, because my co-host for today's show is Hop on Pop. Pop, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I actually... not that anybody cares what shirt I wear. I was actually going to wear a different shirt today to line up with the conversation, the topic of the day. I have an Isaiah Davis, Breece Hall, Agent Zero shirt that Austrian Jet fan gave me. Thank you, Austrian Jets fan. Salute. But last night we lost a service member, so I'm wearing a Remember the Fallen shirt from Valhalla Project. Sarah Bergstrom passed away yesterday as a result of her gunshot wounds being shot in Washington, D.C. So just thoughts and prayers to her family. This is not a political post. This is we have a service member that gave their life in line of duty. So, and prayers to the other National Guardsman who's fighting for his life. So.
Yes, in case you guys missed that story, yeah, two members of our National Guard were both shot in Washington, D.C., and unfortunately, we lost one of them, and that was Sarah Beckstrom. Sarah Beckstrom was the one that we lost, unfortunately, last night. So, again, make sure you guys send out all your prayers and pray for our other servicemen, again, as he fights for his life. Tragic, senseless, terrible. And hopefully, we can try to start to curtail some of these wild, senseless acts, which are absolutely awful. And again, when you're spending time with family, it just goes to show you that tomorrow's never promised. So make sure you guys always say something to your loved ones, because you never know. It's sometimes very scary indeed. Everybody, there's no proper way to transition from that into football topics of green team, this team, that team. But we will be talking about Breece Hall today. There is an article in the YouTube description down below, and I do want to get to this. First off, I want to get to Breece Hall's message. Here it is. He posted this on his social media yesterday, of course, being Thanksgiving, saying, thankful for the life I live, thankful to wake up this morning, thankful for 24 years of life, thankful for the Jets. Hey, we made it in there. Thankful for the wins, thankful for the losses, thankful for the blessings and lessons, thankful for the praise, thankful for the criticism, thankful for my friends, thankful for my family, thankful to be a man of God, and shit, I'm thankful to be thankful. Powerful message, especially considering everything we just discussed. So, it's powerful stuff here from Breece. And it was a good reason for me, because I was watching the Jets Mailbag podcast, which is SNY digital television product, which Nate Coakley and Connor Hughes. And Connor Hughes was asked if the chances have increased of Breece Hall remaining a member of the Jets. And here's what he had to say. We also have this in the YouTube description down below. You guys can read that full article down below if you would like. And here was the quote, again, from Connor Hughes about how the Jets contract stance has changed. Quote, "It is insane how this changed over the course of a month. I would have bet my mortgage on Breece Hall not being with the team in 2026, and probably half my mortgage on Breece Hall not being on the Jets after the trade deadline. They were fielding offers for him. He seemed pretty uninterested in being with this team long term. The Jets weren't willing to invest in that position." He's talking about running back. Quote, but things have changed. Quote, I think two things changed the outlook on Hall. The first was the trading of Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams because that freed up such a substantial amount of salary cap space in 2026 and 2027. Suddenly, there are no restraints whatsoever in paying somebody like Hall, either with a franchise tag, transition tag, or a 3-year contract extension, which seems to be the norm for running backs lately. More on that later. And the second thing is Hall has kind of stepped up now in the absence of Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, and Garrett Wilson being on injured reserve as a vocal leader on this team. You're seeing him be much more hands-on with his teammates. He's posting more on social media about the camaraderie of the group. He's louder, more vocal with the coaching staff or with players on the sideline. Hall's play has improved as well. The Jets have the money to pay Hall and basically feel no ramifications from that at all. So it's getting to the point where why not bring him back? I mean, it's crazy. I really didn't think there was any chance of him returning next year. Now he can not only be there with the Jets in 2026, but 2027 and 2028 as well. We have a YouTube poll up right now. If you guys would like to engage with it, it's would you be interested as a Jets fan in bringing back Breece Hall on a contract that paid him between $10 million and $12 million per year annually? Now, where did that number come from? Rich Samini reported that is what Breece Hall will be seeking, somewhere between $10 and $12 million per year on a multi-year deal. So that is the poll. So you guys can interact with that throughout the show, and we'll continue to check in on that. And then me and my pop will debate or discuss or what have you this potential change from the Jets stance. So, Pop, first off, everybody make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way to contribute here on the program. Also, running out of days, couple days left for the Marty Lyons autographed giveaway. Make sure you guys get into that in just a little bit. But, Pop, let's start off with off the top rope. It seems like the Jets have changed their stance. They did not trade him at the deadline. There was an opportunity. Apparently, the Chiefs offered a fourth. Jets were looking for a third. Awkward staring contest, nothing happens, trade deadline passes. And now with how Breece Hall has really picked up his play post-trade deadline and how things are sort of working out with the new money that's become available, it sounds like they are interested in keeping this young man long-term.
First of all, I'd like to say a cigarette pack disclaimer. None of this is any dislike for Breece Hall of anything I'm going to say over the next few minutes.
Oh, boy.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
Breece Hall, since his coming into the league, he's in the top third of running backs in all-purpose yards, at the bottom of the top third, but he's still in the top third. And that's number 11, if you want some math out there. But and I dispute the fact that he's picked up his game. He hasn't had 100 yards in over a month. He's got some all-purpose yards in there, but against the Ravens, he was averaging 2.8 yards a carry. And that seems like that was the most recent game.
Well, he had 75 yards receiving in that game as well.
Huh. So nice. Anyways, I think the Jets for the right price. I'm surprised they didn't trade him. I'm surprised for the right price. I think the Jets should keep him, but not overpay. It doesn't matter. We don't want to turn into the Mayo, like we got money to burn. We don't. We have a lot of money. We got a lot of people to lock up long term, make decisions long term, and make sure Breece gets his due, right? Since he's come in the league, he's middle of the pack towards the top third of the running backs. And I recognize you can't just look at the top 30 running backs and do that. That's not how it works. I clearly recognize that. But in my opinion, he's worth right at a solid $10 million a year and no more than that.
Okay. I've thought about this. And again, that 10 to 12 million range, which is what Rich Samini said. And I started looking at the top running back contracts in the league, and I found the perfect guy. I think sometimes, we said this with Lamar Jackson. Well, first off, let me explain this. So the Jets have three options to prevent Breece Hall from hitting the open market this offseason. It is the various tags that the Jets would have available here. We'll see if the internet is contributing. Okay, here we go. All right, there are three different franchise tags the Jets can choose to exercise here. There's the non-exclusive tag, the exclusive tag, and the transition tag. Let's explain what all those mean. The non-exclusive tag is a tag that allows the player to sign an offer sheet with another team, so teams can negotiate with Breece Hall. The original team will have the right to match whatever that offer is. If they don't match it, they receive 2 first-round picks from the other team. This one seems completely unlikely, so we should just sort of eliminate this. I don't think anyone is ever going to sign him to a deal knowing they would potentially have to give up 2 first-round picks. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. And that's really how the Ravens, they kind of put Lamar Jackson out there as here's a stake. See if you fall into the trap. And nobody was willing to bite for many reasons.
Although maybe they should have been. Although the recent Lamar Jackson we're seeing not so much, but he has won an MVP since that. So maybe someone should have been willing to give up 2 first-round picks. But that's neither here nor there. So we're going to remove that option, even though that is an option for the Jets. We'll put that one aside. Now we get into the 2 real options to me. There's the exclusive tag. That binds Breece Hall. He's going to be a Jet unless they tag and trade him, which would be a separate thing. So they tag him. That just gives them an exclusive negotiated window for a bunch of the coming months. That's one possibility. The other is the transition tag, and we could get into the financial aspects of these here in just a second. The transition tag is less money, but that also works like the non-exclusive tag where you're able to negotiate with other teams. And this is how a certain poison pill happened a bunch of years ago with one Curtis Martin. That was restricted free agency, but it works sort of the same way as the transition tag, where the Jets tried to put stuff in there because they as soon as you submit that offer sheet, the other team has a chance to match. So you can study their finances and see how can we make this as excruciating as possible for the other team to try to get them not to match. The problem with the transition, the good and bad, transition tag is less money than the franchise tag, which is good because you pay him less if he just signs that. But if he doesn't, and another team offers him a contract and you don't match it, you lose him for nothing. There's no chance of a compensatory pick. It's guaranteed you get nothing for him, but you do get a chance to match any offer. But if an offer is crazy, you're going to have to let him go and get nothing or match it and then deal with the ramifications of that. So those are the options the Jets have on their table. Would you consider either of those, either the exclusive tag or a transition tag, before we get into the raw numbers of a potential long-term deal?
Yeah. The full Monty, if you will, franchise tag, hard pass. We'll get in the numbers later, but hard pass. Way too much money. Yeah. The transition tag, I think the Jets rolled the dice. Despite however well-behaved Breece is now, and maybe he's more well-behaved because he realizes there's more money in the kitty. But before the trade deadline, he was giving off the vibes like, I want out. So that you can't pretend like that didn't happen. And we don't know what's going on. We don't know the conversations. We'll never know those things. But what was leaking out to us was he was not happy. He was ready to leave. So that really happened. And taking that into account, when we passed the trade deadline because we were playing chicken and lost, I think we went with the fact that we may not get anything to keep Breece. So I would have 100% used a transition tag. The reason being, you can make Breece recognize his value when he's sitting by the door waiting for his date to come and she never shows up and he doesn't get any offers or they're lowballed, and it's actually a negotiating tool for the Jets. And if it gets too high, they're like, okay, you can have him. So I think when you pass the trade deadline, they recognize they may get nothing for him, which is the same same place you would be if, and the transition tag is, it's a little more than I would pay a year, but it gives you some leverage to develop long-term tag. So absolutely not for the full Monty, but the transition tag is a tool I would consider using.
Yeah. So let's get into the long-term deal, which is the most, that's a possible outcome here. And long-term means, for those who ask, Connor Hughes believes a 3-year deal. That's sort of been the modus operandi for these running back contracts. And I've been trying to think of, what am I willing to give Breece? What a wild roller coaster it's been for Breece. His first 7 games of his rookie year look great. Then he's out with a torn ACL. And he's been more available by games played, but sometimes he's played through injury and he hasn't been fully there. And I've been sort of racking my brain around it. And I think the best way to do it is just to copy another contract that already exists, and I think it's perfect. I would go to your former Golden Domer, Kyron Williams, who this offseason received a 3-year deal for $33 million, $11 million per year, and I think that's the right number, and it includes $23 million guaranteed. And here's the interesting stuff on Kyron Williams. By the way, that money, $11 million per year would tie him as the 8th highest paid running back in football, if that's the contract that Breece got. $23 million guaranteed would tie him at 7th at his position in terms of guarantees. So a 3-year deal for $33 million. That would keep Breece under contract for his age 25, 26, and 27 season. So I like that. I don't think Breece will be over the hill by then, and maybe he's got a chance to extend himself one more time after that. And here's the thing. Kyren Williams is a better pure runner than Breece Hall. He has multiple 1,000-yard seasons under his, barometer, and he could have another one this season. So as a pure runner, Kyren Williams is better. But as an overall scrimmage yards player, Breece Hall is better. Breece Hall is about 4,400 yards from scrimmage. Kyren Williams at 4,000. So Breece Hall has 400 more yards. Now, in fairness, Kyren Williams' rookie year was compromised, so he didn't play the full amount, but neither did Breece Hall, so to factor that in. So I think Kyren Williams is the proper comp. I think Kyren Williams sort of fits exactly what Breece is. Again, Kyren's been a better runner. Breece Hall has been a better pure receiver, and Breece Hall has more scrimmage yards than Kyren Williams, and Kyren Williams already got paid. So I think that's the number I would do if I'm the Jets. I think 8th highest paid running back is super reasonable. Kyren Williams has already been more productive as a pure runner, and you're going to get that price tag for Breece. I think $11 million per year is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, I think that's a little steep, if you will.
Okay.
I would tell you that, and the Jets really need to continue to invest in the offensive line, right? And then behind the offensive line, then you have some running back options. I will give you 3 running backs who are ahead of Breece significantly in yardage, in rushing yards, and in play. And they are, in no specific order, Rico Dowdle. You know what his average salary was for this year?
Well,
you know what his salary was for this year?
I don't.
Yeah, under $3 million.
Okay.
J.K. Dobbins, what is his salary?
Well, he's out for the season, but yes.
Well, right.
I don't know what his salary.
Yeah, under $3 million.
Okay.
Right, and then you go to Javonte Williams for the Cowboys, $3 million.
Sure.
So I'm telling you that running backs are what we thought they were. You can get a premium running back if you have the offensive line for cheap and $11 million. And again, I'm not saying pay Breece Hall $3 million. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you don't overpay, and every dollar counts. And right, just because you have the money, as I said before, don't be Drive Mayo. Well, we got money to burn. Spend it intelligently with a 3-year deal. Because after that 3 years, into the second year of that 3-year deal, Breece Hall's like, hey, let me have some more money. And right. And so next year, we'd all agree that a best case scenario, it's a rookie running back and hot standby. Only use quarterback. Only use if break glass, you need him quarterback.
Yeah.
You're going to have some bridge quarterback. We're not going to be likely going to the playoffs next year. And then the following year, now we're into 2027, you've got a starting rookie running back, and then Breece is quarterback, and then Breece is going to be like, hey, where's my money? So you have to field the team, but I don't think you have to overpay Breece. It's my opinion. I would tell you that this is another golden opportunity. I've been a strong advocate of letting Brady cook, right, to see what you have. My other thing we should do at the same time, and it could help you in the contract negotiations, is you let Isaiah Davis start a few games at running back. You mix it up, or some series. Let him run the rock, right? He's on his second year of, with a few more years left on it. And then what does he do behind the line? And that may also help you leverage in the negotiations with Breece.
So on Kyren, so we'll start here. What do you think of Kyren Williams as a player?
I think he's a solid running back.
Okay. Would you say he's better or worse than Breece Hall?
I would say he's asked to do different things than Breece Hall by a mile. So by a long shot, asked to do different things. The New York Jets don't have the talent at the talent position, at the skill positions that the Cowboys had. So you don't need him to do those things that the Jets clearly need Breece Hall to do.
So Kyren Williams does not receive the ball a lot. He catches between 20 and 30 passes every year. Breece Hall has had a near 75 reception season in his past, and he's picking it up now. So we'll see where that finishes up. Kyren Williams got paid $33 million. He has 4,000 scrimmage yards so far in his career. Breece Hall has 4,600 scrimmage yards. If I'm Breece Hall's agent, I'm like, I have more scrimmage yards than Kyron Williams does, and he just got $33 million. So why wouldn't I be worthy or capable of that amount?
Yeah, I understand your viewpoint.
I'm saying the agent. I'm saying he literally puts it. This guy just got paid $33 million. So how are you going to tell me I'm making any less than him? I have 400 more yards than he does.
Yeah, it's not the same measure. He's not on the same team.
Well, yeah, but that's what you're going to do from agent to team. You're going to point to other.
That's right.
You're going to point to other situations in the league, point to other raw numbers, say, "Hey, here's what my guy did versus what this guy did who just got paid."
Yeah, and you could stack up 1,000-yard rushing yards seasons.
You could again,
and Breece's vault is empty.
That would be true, but Breece Hall has proven that he's a more complete overall back than Kyron. Now, he's not as good of a runner. It's just pure honesty that he's not. Kyron already has 2,000-plus yard rushing seasons, and again, he's having another hell of a year, so we'll see where that goes from this season.
Yeah, and again, I think we pay Breece $10 million a year. I think we use a transition tag and let him see what his real value is on the open market. It's not – I'm not saying pay him pennies on the dollar.
This is the other thing. The Jets are top 5 in cap space next year. And whether you pay a free agent out there in the streets or your own, like you're going to have to pay people. And I imagine the Jets are not going to be able to use all 100+ million that's in there. Wouldn't you want to, pay the devil you know versus the devil you don't? Like the Jets should know more about Breece Hall than anyone in the universe versus whatever other running back they would then go and sign. So if you're going to spend money, why not spend it on your own guys, develop, maintain, retain, all that sort of thing? Why wouldn't you do that with Breece? If you have the money, you clearly have a need. We don't know how Braylon Allen's going to come back, unfortunately, with his very serious injury. Isaiah Davis has shown flashes, but you may point to a lack of opportunities, perhaps not being the reason that you're seeing the yardage. Who knows? But the Jets have a need at running back, and there's a lot more questions beyond Breece Hall in that backfield than answers.
Yeah, I would say, remember when I just talked about a minute ago, Breece's apparent discontent around the trade deadline.
That was very evident, yes.
Yeah. So, again, we're going to bring that back to the front and then realize that the Jets would have given him up if anyone would give him a third-round pick, which may or may not even make the team. They were going to say, okay, this running back is to us. We're willing to trade him for something that might be a starter. Maybe they won't be. So that is a Jets value of him that they would have traded him.
But things change. Yesterday's price is not today's price. As Connor Hughes talked about in the piece we have down below, the Jets thought they were going to do this. Then they're like, wait a second. We didn't trade him. So now at a minimum, they have him for the rest of the season. And they're seeing this side of Breece saying, you know what? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Sure, someone could have traded for him, but they didn't. So now you have him, and you have an opportunity to retain him, and especially when you're seeing no Garrett Wilson, and obviously there's all these other talented players on defense for the Jets that aren't here. Breece Hall has certainly stepped up and has been the straw that stirs the drink for the Jets offensively.
Yeah, we'd have to go look at that. I don't get that. I've looked at the numbers.
Okay,
that it's a very shitty drink. If that's just not
I'm not going to deny that they had one touchdown against the Ravens. I'm not going to deny that, like, move over. They're an offensive juggernaut. Certainly not saying that. But on this terrible offense that it is, you start to wonder if Breece Hall would have been traded at the deadline, would the Jets have won any games? Because Breece Hall has been an important piece of both of those victories so far this season.
Yeah. So we'll agree to disagree. We're not that far off. I'm at $10 million max. You want 10 to 12?
10 to 12, and I think 11 based on the Kyron Williams numbers. I think that's a logical place. But isn't there a bridge to be isn't there a gap to be bridged here? That's what happens, right? Player comes in and says, I want somewhere in this. The team says, I want this. Now, if the gap is too big, sometimes it's too big of a gap and you can't make it up. We're talking about between ours is 1 million, but on a maximum level, it's 2 million. We can't get there.
Yeah, no, because I'm actually starting at 8. My max is 10. But you're 10 to 12. That's a $4 million gap.
Yes, but and Kyron's only one example I plucked from the tree. I'm sure there's more running backs if we looked inside this top 10 of the highest paid running backs in football. Breece Hall probably compares pretty favorably because think about a perfect example is Alvin Kamara. We did this trivia game before. How many 1,000-yard seasons has Alvin Kamara had in his career? Spoiler alert, none. 0. So he's been a more prominent receiving back. He has been a running back. So I'm sure if we compare from 2022 through 2025 here of Breece Hall coming into the league, he probably compares very favorably to Alvin Kamara, who's also in that top 5 highest paid running backs, and his guarantees are just short of the 23 million fully guaranteed. He had 22 and a half. So that would be another player that I think would compare favorably in those conversations.
Yeah, I think $8 million. There you go.
Again, if I'm Breece's agent, I'm not taking 8 because
Someone
else with less yards than me just made 11. So we need to be more in those waters.
Yeah, we don't. We don't have to be in those waters.
All right. Well, let's.
There's a warning sign on those waters.
Deck, you see the poll? Can you see the poll if you click it?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah. Give us the results so far. Where are we?
Yeah, 85% of the Jets fan believe that they should keep them, and 15% are no too expensive, with 48 votes.
Okay, there you go. And that is between, again, 10 and 12 million, which Rick Samini said is what Breece Hall apparently will be looking for and seeking this offseason. So continue to vote and interact with that as well here on the program.
Yeah. So where's your limit? We didn't talk about it, right? But the
what's my bottom dollar?
The franchise tag is $14 million.
Yeah.
The transition is $11 million. I would be willing to let him see his true market value by going with the $11 million for 1 year and then negotiating a longer term contract. What is your limit? Because you said, would you go over $12 million?
So I'll go to your franchise tag thing first, right? So we discussed that really it's down to the true franchise tag, which is $14 million, or the transition tag. For me, I'd pay the straight price for the franchise tag, which again, to your point, is over $14 million. The highest paid running back in football is making $20 million per year. So we're not getting quite to that waters. There's a $6 million gap between that franchise tag and the overall best number for Saquon Barkley. So I think there's a sizable gap there. I would pay him because I don't want to potentially lose him just for a matching of the offer, because maybe a team will get funky. You say, hey, I'm willing to test it. What if a team like the Chiefs, right? They weren't willing to give up the pick, but they were like, oh, that was a big mistake. You know what? We'll give Breece $14 million. Who cares? Or I don't have everyone's cap situation in front of me. So, I may be speaking out of turn on who has the proper money to pull this off. But what if a team just goes, you know what? We think we're running back away. Look what Saquon did for the Eagles. They won the Super Bowl. Look what Josh Jacobs did for the Green Bay Packers. That was seismic. Like, look at what these running backs did in these locations. Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit, even though that was a draft situation. Like, look at how a dynamic running back changed an offense. Maybe someone does it. So I don't just want to lose into a match and offer. I'd be cool giving him the $14 million.
Wow.
And then you use it as a negotiating ploy. So here's the truth. Breece Hall doesn't want to play on the franchise tag. He wants long-term security. The Jets don't want to pay Breece Hall $14 million. So they both are bothered in one way, which can help lead them to a unity in the middle. When you have two sides that are motivated, Breece Hall not wanting to be on a franchise tag and the Jets not wanting to pay a $14 million fully guaranteed number. Because when you do a long-term deal, Breece Hall could count $1 million against the cap in 2026. But on the franchise tag, you have no choice. That $14 million chunk comes right out of the pie immediately, and that's the hit the entire year. So I think both sides would be motivated to find that long-term deal that would exist in the middle. So I would use it as a way to make sure Breece doesn't hit the open market, and then I would use it as a negotiation, have a couple of months to go one-on-one and see if you can find that number.
Well, there you go. We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, I guess so. But in terms of, to go back to your long-term extension, like what's my ceiling? Because that Breece Hall apparently wants 10 to 12. So that means Breece would want more than 12 if that is the negotiation there. But I'd be willing to go to 12. I'd be willing to go to Breece Hall ceiling. The Jets are top 5 in cap space. They're not hurting for money. They got plenty of money available. And while they do have some big decisions coming up on the offensive line, John Simpson's a free agent, Elijah Vera Tucker's a free agent, Josh Myers a free agent. That doesn't mean you have to bring them all back. Just stating that some of those guys are free agents for the Jets, you have to make decisions. I think they have plenty of opportunity here to be able to pay Breece and do everything and anything else they want in the universe, plus all the draft picks too. So, I'd pay Breece. I'd keep him here.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Anything else before we get to the phone lines?
No, looking forward to later today. We're going to take the children and grandchildren to Santa's Village up here on the Presidential Highway in Jefferson, New Hampshire. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be fun. So there you go.
Yes, it will be. You can hear them in the background there. So long story short, there'll be a shorter show because we're going to be taking the kiddos out. So it takes a few phone calls, and we'll see where it goes. So we'll play a quick timeout. More coming up here on BGD here on the program.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Bugging daily, bugging daily, bugging daily. Talking Jets football, man. Bugging daily, bugging daily, bugging daily. The New York Jets football club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets. Boy Green, bugging daily, bugging daily, bugging daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green, bugging daily, bugging daily, bugging daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go!
There you go from the Hepster. Let's go. We have 200 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. I'm seeing that we only have 28 likes on YouTube, but many more than that on the show. So, Pop,
take that like button to Pound Town.
Folks, that's a free way to contribute to the show. I appreciate the super chats and the memberships. And again, to get involved in that Marty Lyons autograph raffle bonanza where we only have a few days left. I hope you guys get involved with that. But the free way to contribute, get this Jet Show in front of other Jet fans out there in the universe is, of course, making sure that you like the video. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Up next here on the program is Easy. Let's start there.
Hey.
What's going on? Happy holidays there, Easy.
Oh, I had too much Thanksgiving.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Pops?
Good.
Look, I had suggested 4 years, 40 million with 27 mil guaranteed. This way, once he reaches that 27 million, they could cut his ass if he does something stupid. The $10 million contract is eatable if he blows out a knee or something. Hey, I'm just looking both ways. Plus, he has a 4-year deal, so if he does straighten up, fly right, and well, not that he has to do that, but you know what I mean. Plus, if everything works out great, he's got $40 million. That's nothing to say no, and it's a 4-year contract. Well, I know that nothing is like fully guaranteed in the NFL, but to tell a guy that you're willing to keep him for 4 years, 10 million a year with 27 million guaranteed, that's a decent contract. And but I mean, according to your dad, for you to want to give, $12 million a year and all that stuff, that's why you lost your damn beard, dude.
That may be, but again, here's the thing on your 27 million guaranteed. So Kyron Williams got a 3-year deal for 33 million with 23 million guaranteed. So again, the guarantees are just off. We're only going a little bit up on the guarantees, but a full another year.
Yeah, right. I also think
but also
we don't have to do a straight up contract. I did see your contract in the comments, Easy, and I think that'd be fine. The $27 million guarantee. The other thing I would say is let's make it incentive laden, right? There are a lot of times you see these people play balls out, if you will, and let make them earn the incentives. And if they don't, they don't. You look at Tyron Smith, God rest his soul. One of the best moves the Jets made is it was a $20 million a contract they signed Tyron Smith for. 75% of that was incentive laden. And I'm not saying Breece Hall deserves that, but I could eat a $9 million contract with a couple with incentives that could get him to 11.
I'm thinking just, make it 10, but if he gets 1,000 yards, he gets another this. If he gets so many touchdowns, he gets that. If he doesn't fumble inside the 10, he gets other things,
Yeah, I think we need a strong, again, Tyron Smith, it's an interesting deal to bring up. He signed, basically, it's a $6 million deal that had $14 million in incentives. And Tyron was cool with it because he said, I have no problem proving my health, and that's the big concern, so I'm totally cool with that. Breece Hall is like 1,000 years
bottom
younger
line,
than
though-
Tyron Smith. So just my thing is he's going to be like, I proved myself. I just worked for dirt cheap on the rookie contract, $9 million across 4 years. So I'm cool with incentives because I'm awesome and I think I can do really well. But that's not going to make up like this gap of from 8 or 9 million to what he could get in 12 or 13 million range. Because another team, as we would see in a transition tax situation, would be able to pay him more base, and that he could earn even more than that. So I think
But
the
I
base
wanna-
has to be strong.
but I want to
think it
give.
has to be like in the 10 million range at least.
I want to make a Darren Muji move though. I want to make this a contract that's advantageous to the player, but he's still tradable.
Of
If
course,
we just-
of course.
This
Yeah.
way, you don't want to give him like 13 million a year, and then he starts having a little bit of roughness, here and there, and then you're stuck with him, or you have to cut him, or something like that. I still want to make it where if we decide to get rid of him, not that I think we would, but if you decide to get rid of him after maybe 2.5 years, there's still enough meat on that bone with that contract that another team will take him. And even though it's 10 million a year, it's still for a quality back. That's not what's the word I'm saying? Shit. It's not a killer of a deal, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I got no problem with that. Shout out to Muji. He deserves a lot of credit for building it in. Like he didn't sign this deal with us going, "Oh, can't wait to trade this guy in 3 months." Like he just built it just in case the right opportunity presented itself. He has that flexibility. So smart GMing on him to build that in, because normally when you trade a player months after they were sold, the original team, the New York Jets, get screwed on the dead cap for many years. So it's great that they weren't. It was not, it was certainly a tradable contract.
I think that's what I was trying to get at. We have to try to build contracts for these players where these guys who, let's face it, most NFL players have short careers, and they got to make their money in that short career. And a lot of these guys came from, nothing, they're poor people, so they get an opportunity to get that brass ring. You can't take that away from them because they're giving up probably 5 to 6 years of their lives down road, beating themselves up for this game, So, and a lot of these guys are doing that for, so that their kids and grandkids are pretty much set for the rest of their lives. So you don't want to give them garbage contracts, but it's still a business. So you have to make it so that if you have to move on from a player, or there's someone that you, at this point in time, you absolutely have to get. And the only way to get that is to get rid of, sometimes to get what you need, you have to get rid of something that you don't really want to get rid of, but you can. So like if Agent Zero comes back next year and starts killing it, and somebody knocks on the door and saying, hey, we want Breece, and we have this other player in mind that we possibly could get in either the upcoming draft, or if they have a guy that they have an excess of talent in a certain position on their team, we have to have that flexibility to be able to move players around to improve the team overall without hurting the players.
Concur. Yeah.
And that makes you a more advantageous corporation to work for, because players know that, hey, if I go to the Jets and they decide after a year or two they don't need me, they're not just going to screw me over. They're going to work with me and try to get me in a situation like what they did, with Sauce and with Quinnen. These guys weren't just discarded and sent to.
No Siberia there. Yeah,
no Siberia. They were sent to places where they can thrive. And I tell you, I like Quinnen wearing number 92. That's a cool number for him.
It's a nice look. It's a nice look.
It looks good. He looks good in 92. I never liked him in 95. I always thought 95 was kind of somebody else's number kind of thing.
So he did a wonderful job. Well, Easy, I hope you had an awesome holiday, my friend, and thanks for calling in, pal.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Have a good time with your family this weekend.
All right, will do. Thank you. That is Easy joining us here on the program. It is some interesting thoughts about the Jets' attractiveness as a free agent destination based on how they handle their players. Good Lord. And yes, I think that only helps out a little bit more. Let's get to it. We got a super chat coming in. What the? This is from Hop on Pop over here. Every time I get a super chat here from my daughter, Soraya Luna.
Wow.
There we go. A few more raffle tickets coming in. That jersey is ours. And here it is. This is the jersey he is referencing. This is our prize. If you're new to the channel, and you just sort of stumbled in here as a Jets fan, we do giveaways every single month here on the channel, every single month. And this month's giveaway is a Marty Lyons autograph combination platter. Now, all you see on the screen is this beautiful jersey, but we also have an autograph hat. Shout out to Carl for donating that in. This comes with a certificate of authenticity. It came from the Marty Lyons Foundation, and it's going to be awesome. So if you're local, I'll hand it to you in person, but if you're not, we will ship this to you. If you want a chance to win this and the hat, both together, one person will win both. It's $3 a raffle ticket. Pop, you just added 3 more to your raffle ticket total, and you've been stacking them up this month. It seems like you really want this jersey.
This jersey, it's to the coffee club, it's not just some randomly signed piece of gear. It's right to the coffee club. It's unbelievable, and truly a Jets legend and a great philanthropist. So happy to support his foundation and put money on the Boy Green table. So
there you go. 24 raffle tickets so far, and you're $1 away from another raffle ticket at some point here before the end of November. So the raffle tickets are piling in. Appreciate that for this beautiful Marty Lyons giveaway. And there you go from Austrian. If he wins, I'll order to respin the wheel. Man, it's been a hell of a morning, apparently. We were doing some yelling for Thanksgiving, I guess. Which is great because Austrian is our number one gifter that's very kind to respin the wheel. So somebody else besides Austrian will win that Marty Lyons jersey. That is very kind to be able to do that, which is good. I'll answer this because I've seen a few people bring this back up with Barbara here. And here you go for Gator, and those are Mister. We'll play this video package here.
I bet on the Jets, which is normally never a good sign, and I bet for them to win the last 2 weeks. They didn't, and now I have to shave my beard for a bet with Alon.
Whoa, mamacita. Okay, there we go. I don't know. The food was in there. I don't know if there's a bird in there. No beard. So Alon, there you go. Man of my word. 1.5 across that thing. Wow. Okay. Whoa. I have not had that in a while. Whoa. We'll see you guys next time. There you go. That was it from a couple of days ago, and it's still weird. And I see all your comments are out on the interesting looks and comps of who I now look like and things of that nature. And Barbara asking this question. It was great to meet Barbara and her husband at the tailgate. How are the kids taking the new look now that they had a day? Again, and the initial was my son didn't care at all. I came in the house. He was just like, Dad, pick me up. And so he was great. And then on my daughter, she just saw it, went, no, sir, and just like ran off. And she's gotten used to it now. So she's, although yesterday, I guess I haven't told this story on any digital product. She came up to me yesterday. I was sitting on the couch, and she went, Dad? I'm like, yeah, honey, what's up? And then she went, all gone. And she was just feeling where the beard was and just doing one of these and saying all gone. So it's sort of, I guess, hit her from that perspective. No beard, but I'm glad that they got over it a lot quicker than I think my fiance got over it. So there you go, or hasn't from that perspective. Barbara. All right, let's finish off here. Let's squeeze in one more call. Carl joins here on the show. What's up, Carl?
Hey, Boy Green, how you doing? How you doing, Pop?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. We got you. Excellent. Thank you.
Hey, listen, Boy Green, I like the look.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I like that. I like that look. I think you should think about it.
Okay, of keeping it. All right.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, very good. We had all the football on, which was great. My Imamji, my mom, made a wonderful meal. She probably went, overboard with all the different things that she made, but she always does that for the family. So that's terrific. And then today, my son turned 1 earlier this month. My sister becomes a teenager. Oh, boy. She becomes a teenager coming up here in a couple of days. So we're going to celebrate all that today at this Santa's Village. It's like this local theme park thing around the holidays and stuff of that nature. So it'll be a nice little thing for all the kiddos.
Good. Yeah, I had eat at 3 different places yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I had to really pace myself.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but anyway, I just wanted to check in. I'm on my way back home from the gym, and I just wanted to tell you that I saw you last week when you got the beard shaved, and I thought you looked really good.
Thanks, Carl. I appreciate those out there fighting for the look.
That's my 2 cents.
I appreciate it. Your 2 cents are always welcome here, Carl. Thanks, buddy, and safe travels.
Thank you. You take it easy, Pop.
All right, there he is. Carl joining us here on the show. And whoa, mamacita, Philium has entered the octagon with a 20-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Every time 5 memberships or more are gifted, we got to play something, Pop. So without further ado, let's do some of this.
Kevin James. I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
There you go, a 20-pack of raffle tickets immediately for our guy FL Phil 98. Pop, I know you love reading names, so let's get right into it here. Who are the latest members to the Boy Green Coffee Club?
RPESC 89, Ron G 715, Mr. Fulton Raz 7606.
Mr. Fulton, nice. Okay.
Kobayashi Maru 22, Ryan Nichols 3882, M123XYZ, Mr. J Rod 122100, JC Jets, John LG, Georgie 6464, Jerry Moore 1981, Reams D2I, Jet Life 3215, Ray Noble, That Kid Dalt, Brian Farrell, Bob Bianchi, Joe on the Bike, RR Jets, Michael Narrow, and that's it.
Okay, there you go. 20 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. And this is what Philium just added. He got those raffle tickets for this awesome Marty Lyons jersey, which he's very much in the race for. Again, if you have 1 raffle ticket, you have a chance, people. And if you have multiple raffle tickets, well, obviously your chances increase dramatically. So salute to Philium here on the holiday season. And Philium, good luck, and hopefully you get a chance to win this thing, although my pop is going to be clamoring for it over there. We'll randomly draw that winner coming up on December 1st. Philium, you're the best, baby. And please see my previous comment. Okay, let me see, Philium. Oh, wow, what a beautiful gesture. I see. Please apply 5 raffle tickets to Badshaw, Jared B., Mother Effing Chew, and Johnny Boy. I'm thankful for them all. So, yes, Philium, very generous. I will dole those out to those 5 individuals here on the program. So, thank you very much. Much appreciated. And that's very kind. Again, around this time of year. That is terrific. Well, Pop, that's going to thank you, Philium, and I'll add those there. Thank you for notifying me of that, Philium. I want to make sure I do as your best wishes indicate. So that's beautiful. Thank you, Philium. And Pop, that's going to wrap it up for another holiday edition here. I think we have one more. Yeah, we got one more episode together here tomorrow.
Yep. Looking forward to it. Everyone, enjoy your Black Friday. Some good football later this afternoon.
Sure.
And time with your families. God bless.
All right, everybody. We have another Boy Green Daily coming tomorrow morning. Then I will travel back, and we'll have our full game day gambit. That'll be coming up with Matt Lombardo and myself, Jets Falcons on Sunday morning. We'll have the live watch party and then the post-game show all coming up on Sunday. So thank you guys so much. Happy holidays, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody.